Aho, this is AIM member, the voice of reason, coming at you. And I decided that, I'm not rich. I don't have a lot of money at all. Um, I can't give much to all of you, but what I can give you is an honest discussion. Now, I understand that, a lot of people live on reservations, um, like the Duck Valley Reservation, the Pine Ridge Reservation, the Rosebud, the Onondaga Reservation. These are reservations. The Navajo Reservation, which is border between New Mexico and Texas. Um, but the most honest advice, one of the most honest things I can give you is me. I know that deep down you don't want to take advice from somebody who's clearly my skin is white, but I am a half-blood native. My dad's not white, my mom is. Um, I can't do anything about that. Sorry. What I can give you is I could tell you that you most definitely don't want to take advice from somebody who's fake, a liar, a hypocrite, or somebody who puts on airs and acts like they're something they're not. Because at the end of the day, nobody wants to be fooled or lied to any more than I do. I'm sitting here in a public library right now. A lot of the people who live on reservations, what people don't know is that they're living below the poverty line, and which is by far, which is pretty damn bad. Now, right below the poverty line means that financially it's so bad that they're only about $100 short of living the same way that kids do in third world countries. And this happens on American soil. That's the scary part. Unfortunately, that happens a lot. And almost definitely, nobody who lives that way or who's forced to live that way wants anything to do with anybody who's going to sit there and lie to them. So, for me, financially, I get a minimal income. I'm right above the poverty line. I'm just almost as poor as they are. I can't even afford a regular apartment. I live in an RV camper because it's either that or live in a rooming house and rent a room in a boarding house where I'm forced to share a kitchen and a bathroom with sketchy people. And boarding houses are not safe places to live at all. Anybody can tell you, 90% of the time you're forced to share a bathroom with people that who have done prison time for murder, sex crimes, and armed robbery, and because they're not allowed to live in regular apartments, they can't. They have nowhere else to go. And when you have a minimal income and you're poor, sometimes it's the only place you can afford. That's the only traditional, normal place you can afford to rent. If you don't have Section 8, 90% of the time there's people on Section 8 who, and there's a very long waiting list. So, rather than waiting around for a housing system that's simply never going to happen, I chose to buy a camper, and I decided to live in that. I have to eat with food stamps. So I could tell anybody on reservations, I am not that far off from you are. I know exactly how you feel. Being poor is emotionally, it's taxing. It's physically exhausting. You have to work more toward having what little you have, and then you have to even work harder to protect what you have. And you have to do things like lie to people on a daily basis just to keep them from knowing where you live, or you have to threaten people just to keep them from trying to take what you have. You're forced into a world of deception and violence just to protect what you have, because unfortunately, desperation creates a lot of violent and stupid behavior. And I'm not that far off. I was bouncing from rooming house to rooming house and couch surfing. Then for a while there, I was homeless, and now I'm living in a camper. Before that, I was living in rooming houses, and I absolutely hated it. I could tell anybody, living that way is very emotionally taxing. but I at least took some sense of my freedom back. I chose the path I chose now because I got tired of being forced to have limited options. This is an option I took because the worst I got to put up with is I got to make sure that I don't provoke or attract animals to where I sleep. See, nature, you know where they stand. It's very easy. It's very easy to deal with that. I'd rather sit there and do what I have to keep bears and cougars away from where I sleep, and rodents, of course, raccoons, skunks, foxes, things like that, and bobcats. But I'd rather do what I have to do to keep animals away because it's a fine line. They know where they stand. I know where I stand. We stand in each other's way. It's the easiest possible situation ever. But I could tell anybody who lives on a reservation, I am not far that off away from you. I am right in the trenches with you every day. I'm just as poor as you are, and I'm managing to do it. And I do what I have to do. You don't have to sit there and surrender to and take the hand that's been dealt to you. You throw the cards back and demand a better hand, or make yourself a better hand to play. Make yourself a better hand to play with. This is a member of the Voice of Reason. Aho.